Hello all, this is Nilima here. Welcome to a brand new episode of Kerala Blockchain Academy. So in this episode, we'll be catching up with a very interesting topic that has been making rounds among the crypto enthusiasts. Well, it's about the crypto laws and regulations happening worldwide and their possible impact on the domestic laws. A word of caution to all our viewers here, these laws and regulations that we are discussing here are existent as of today and may be subjected to changes in the future. So before we move on to the crucial details, let us first try to understand the common terms available in the crypto space. These are the digital assets, the virtual digital assets, the cryptocurrencies and the crypto tokens. Now the digital asset is anything that holds a value. It can be an ownership or a usage rights available in a digital form. The virtual digital asset is a much more defined term brought about by most of the government and the regulatory authorities, and it is defined as a digital representation of an asset that can be traded, transferred or even used for payment. So the common forms of this virtual digital assets includes the cryptocurrencies and the crypto tokens. Do note that the digital representation of the fiat currencies do not come under the definition of this virtual digital assets. So moving on to the first form of the virtual digital asset, that is the cryptocurrencies. Now, the cryptocurrency is a virtual or a digital currency that is designed to operate on a decentralized technology called as blockchain and functions as a medium of exchange. So the common cryptocurrencies that we all are familiar with are the Bitcoin, the Ether, Solana, and the list goes on. Second is the crypto tokens. The crypto tokens represent an asset. It can be a virtual or a physical asset, and it also allows some special platform specific features. Now there are numerous forms of these crypto tokens that can be ranging from the stable coins, the platform tokens, the DeFi tokens, utility tokens, security tokens, the non-fungible token, and many more. Now you can compare these crypto tokens to just like the gift coupons that we get while making a purchase in the e-commerce platforms. So now we'll have a quick walkthrough of a few of these crypto tokens. So the first in line is the stable coin. Now the stable coin is designed to maintain a stable value, and it is usually pegged to a fiat currency such as dollar, or it can be any other legal tender. Now the different forms or the common examples of this stable coins include the Gemini dollar, the first digital USD, the Tether, and then the USD coin. The second in line is a utility token. Now the utility token allows the users to access certain specific services or applications within a blockchain ecosystem. The common utility tokens available in the market include the basic attention token and the Binance coin. So next in picture is the security token. Now security token represent ownership of an asset. It can be a company share or a business or even a real estate. The common examples of security tokens include the Polymath, Harbor, RealBlock, Weaveworks. Then we have the DeFi token. DeFi token, or the decentralized finance token, allows the users to lend, borrow, trade in a decentralized exchange without any third-party intervention. The Uniswap, Compound, Aave are the common DeFi tokens. Then we have the non-fungible token, or popularly known as the NFT tokens. Now, the non-fungible tokens represent ownership of a unique digital product. It can be an artwork or a digital collectible or even a real estate. And the top NFT collections include the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the Decentraland, CryptoPunks, Moonbirds, and the list goes on. Then we have the governance token. Now the governance token enables the users to have some good governance rights on the decentralized protocol or even the platform. Now these governance rights include voting rights as well as making decisions or even influencing the directions of the protocol. The Sushi token, Aave token are the popular governance tokens which are also used for rewarding users for contributing in a liquidity pool in a DeFi space, as well as for they are also used for staking purposes. So nowadays we are hearing a lot about these meme coins. Now meme coins are popular because of their usage in the entertainment space. Though they do not have any real-time specific applications, they are driven by the social media hype. We can often find these meme coins replicating the comics available in the internet domain. So popular meme coins include the Dogecoin, Shiba Inu and SafeMoon. Well, now that we define cryptos, let us understand why cryptos are becoming so popular, or why do we need an exclusive regulation for the same. The answer to this is the exponential rewarding features offered in the crypto space at a rapidly higher pace compared to the traditional investing options like the stocks, bank deposits, gold and so on. Some of the other attractive features of these crypto assets include: the first one is that the fund transfer between the parties becomes much easier due to the lack of third-party intervention. And the second part is about the relatively better anonymity compared to the traditional investment options. And the third is about the security aspects, that is the wallets or the account address that supports this sending and receiving of these cryptocurrencies are often backed by high security related features such as private keys. Then we have the minimal processing fees while performing transactions compared to the conventional payment platforms. So despite the disturbing events surrounding the top crypto exchanges last year, the crypto market seems to be immune to such turbulences, the testimony to which we can find out by the surge in the value of Bitcoin and Ethereum by about 160% and 90% respectively. And even the top banking giants have predicted that the Bitcoin is expected to cross the $1 lakh mark by the end of 2024. And the crypto community is also excited about the upcoming mega events such as Bitcoin halving and the spot ETFs. So we have exclusively covered these two topics in our media handles. So do follow the link given in the description to know about it. So although the potentials offered by crypto seems to be quite promising, there are challenges within. For the few of the most stated concerns are, the first one is a lack of sovereign guarantee. The cryptocurrencies are yet to be provided a legal tender status. Only few countries are accepting cryptocurrencies in proportion to their fiat currency. Second is about the market instability. The speculative nature of the crypto makes them quite volatile. Now, if we just look at the trends, there are at times when Bitcoin's value has fallen from about $20,000 to around $3,000 in just few months' time. Third is about the security risk. Now, losing one's private key could lead to loss of one's loss to the cryptocurrencies itself. So, and again, there are the issues relating to the malware and the phishing attacks. The fourth is about the money laundering. That is, the anonymity offered by these cryptocurrencies makes them quite vulnerable for being misused in criminal activities and terror funding. Then is about bypassing regulatory barriers. The decentralized nature of cryptocurrencies makes them makes them immune to the regulatory barriers. And from all the stated concerns, we can realize that the fundamental hurdle is about the absence of standard regulations and safeguards that could put a check on the crypto's usage. So if we look at the global investment landscape, the countries across the globe have taken different stand towards the cryptos and their related assets. Now, there are countries that have imposed an outright ban on cryptocurrencies. For example, China, Tunisia, Iraq, Egypt, Morocco, and Bangladesh are some on the list. While there are countries or certain advanced economies which have realized the growing potential of the crypto assets and have come up with certain regulations and frameworks. So let us look at some of the notable ones. The first in line is the European Union. The European Parliament last year has approved the Market in Crypto Assets Regulation, also known as the MiCA, that is considered to be as the world's first comprehensive set of rules for bringing the largely uncovered cryptocurrencies and crypto-related assets into the government regulation. So highlights of this MiCA include the first point is that the key point of this MiCA is that it has come up with a broader definition for identifying a crypto asset. So according to MiCA, a coins, tokens, or any other digital medium that can be stored electronically or transferred using the digital ledger technology or the similar technology can be identified as a crypto asset. Second is about fostering good governance practices on crypto firms. The third point is about the imposing compliance on issuers of crypto assets. Now, the issuers are defined as those legal persons who offer to public any types of crypto assets. Now, MiCA also requires the crypto companies to send information regarding the senders and the recipients of their crypto assets to the local anti-money laundering authority to prevent the money laundering and the financing of terrorism related activities from occurring. Then next point is that the service providers of the stable coins that we have discussed earlier, which is a popular digital token that is being pegged to a stable value like fiat currency such as dollar, are mandated to provide all the details pertaining to the crypto product to confirm their authenticity and also to take necessary safeguards to avoid any liquidity crisis. Then the last point is that in order to prevent the spillover effect that was witnessed from the collapse of the crypto exchanges last year, the EU regulations have certain specific rules that shields the customer funds from the proprietary trading. So apart from this MiCA, the EU has also brought about a 5-pointer gold standard for blockchains that covers environmental sustainability, then data protection, digital identity, cybersecurity, and interoperability. So now moving on to our next country, France. So initially, France have been offering tax cuts on profits generated from crypto trading, but with the introduction of EU's MiCA, it has been making amendments to its registration requirements for crypto firms in order to align with the MiCA's provisions. And apart from that, in order to protect the consumers, it has also mandated the advertisers to disclose the risk associated with crypto investment and trading. The next country is United States. Now, the United States has been one of the top enforcers of legal action, and by filing the lawsuits and imposing heavy fines on prominent crypto exchanges last year. So the Securities and Exchange Commission, on the SEC, the Commodities Future Trading Commission, the Department of Justice, and the Treasury's Financial Criminal Enforcement Network, FinCAN, other agencies that are running in parallel to enforce the regulations on this digital assets and cryptocurrencies. Then we have the United Kingdom. Now, though United Kingdom do not have a separate legislation for regulating the cryptos, the regulatory agency in UK, that is the Financial Conduct Authority or FCA, has come up with a firm set of rules for regulating licenses to authorize businesses to conduct crypto trading. Now, the crypto trading in UK is taxed similar to that of the paper currency trading, and the country has also passed a law that enables the regulators to oversee the stable coins. Now let us look over to a country that has been well known as a global financial hub, offering a business-friendly environment, the Cayman Islands. So in 2020, the Cayman Islands has come up with a Virtual Asset Service Provider Act in line with the Financial Action Task Force international standards. So this act is split into two phases. The first phase deals with the anti-money laundering regulations, and another part is about the WASP registration or registration requirements. The second phase includes the licensing and additional matters, and according to this act, any of the virtual asset service providers must either obtain the license or registration with the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority. And other legislations that enforce that are in place to enforce on cryptocurrencies include the Securities Investment Business Act and the Money Services Act. Now, let us move on from the west to the east of the global landscape. And get into the Asia, and first country that we will be looking over is Singapore. So the Monetary Authority of Singapore has been perhaps the world's first jurisdiction to enforce rules on stable coins. So according to Singapore's new framework, the stablecoin issuers are required to be backed with low risk and highly liquid assets that must be equal or exceeding the par value of tokens in circulation at all times. Now, these stablecoin issuers are also required to return the par value of the digital currency to the holders within 5 business days on a redemption request, and also they are required to disclose the audit results of the reserves to the users. A country that has over time taken a progressive approach to crypto regulations. Now we are talking about Japan. Now, Japan recognizes cryptocurrencies as a legal property under its Payment and Services Act, and it also requires the crypto exchanges and crypto firms to register with its regulatory agency, that is a Financial Services Agency or FSA, to comply with the AML CFT obligations. AML is the anti-money laundering and CFT is the combating the financing of terrorism obligations. It also has introduced the remittance rules that prevents the criminals from using the crypto exchanges for money laundering activities, and also the country imposes the tax cuts on profits generated on crypto trading. Now moving on to South Korea. In South Korea, the crypto asset service providers such as exchanges and wallets are required to obtain an information security certificate from the Korean Internet and Security Agency, and the country also restricts anonymous accounts and local financial institutions from engaging in crypto trading. Now, the most happening city in Middle East, that is Dubai, have introduced the Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority that provides a favorable environment for cryptocurrency businesses by offering specific zones and guidelines for crypto trading. And finally, to the second largest continent in the world, Africa. The central banks across different governments in Africa have transitioned from taking a prohibitory approach to a neutral regulatory approach while dealing with crypto assets. Now, for instance, the Kenya and Mauritius, who are the front runners in the crypto market, have come up with regulatory sandboxes that promote testing of crypto assets in a live and regulatory environment and controlled regulatory environment. Then we have Nigeria, who have come up with registration and licensing requirements for their virtual asset service providers. So that may be a lot for today. In the next episode, we will be discussing about the top regulators who enforce these regulations, and also with the regulatory framework of the most populous country in the world and the best practices for building a crypto-friendly economy. So if you like this video, do like and share it with your friends and family. And for more interesting updates on blockchain, do subscribe to our channel, Kerala Blockchain Academy. So until we meet next, it's bye from me. Happy learning.